Okay, welcome and thank you for staying with us. We have a tech segment coming up, and today we're looking at a remote work series on the show this morning. I have my guest in the house, Precious. And Precious is, of course, a media practitioner, also a remote work kind of enthusiast and a tech personnel. And today on that series, we're discussing your customer service amplify, leveraging tech for a better experience. Now, Precious, if you can hear me, hello, are you there?
Very well, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
How are you doing? Good morning.
I'm great. How about you?
I am good. So yeah, in the world of remote work, as it were, tech using customer service is something that a lot of people have now outsourced. In fact, I remember talking to quite a number of people, and the people are not, maybe they don't understand. So I've spoken to some people, and then they don't understand maybe what the company stands for, and then at the same time, it's obvious that it's probably outsourced. But I know maybe because of the trend of things, why is there a need to outsource customer service, as it were? Why is there that need? Shouldn't companies maybe employ people that understand or directly work in the company? Why do we have to outsource that concept of customer service?
All right. So for me, you know that I'm also an advocate of outsourced customer service. As a matter of fact, I run a company that offers such service. So for me, I would say that it helps you as a company owner or as an entrepreneur zero in on making profit and doing business, while someone else handles the hectic or killing task of handling your customers for you. It could be such a tasking job to handle customers, from what they want, from giving them up to date. In fact, delivering impeccable customer service, especially after sales services, is something people take for granted. And that's actually what keeps your customers glued to you. So it could be very difficult to run business, at the same time also manage such needs of customers. So outsourcing it helps you just zero in or concentrate on making money, running the business, while someone else is handling the task of relating with your customers for you. So there's nothing with that.
Okay. So how do we, in such a way, like a company who wants to do stuff, is it cheaper for people in this particular scenario to outsource that kind of crucial, experience when it comes to managing a company?
Absolutely. It's not way cheaper. It also helps you get more experts. For instance, I have been in customer service for over 2 decades. And if I were to work for any company, perhaps you may not pay me. First of all, I won't earn in dollars, in naira. It's got to be in dollars. Now, how many Nigerian small businesses can pay me in dollars? I don't know if you get my point. But if you it helps you get, get engaged or leverage on the wealth pool of people who are very knowledgeable in the customer service industry. Because what happens is that you leverage on them, and then you're able to use them like they were yours, like that, from your company. And then again, I don't know why Nigerians like to suffer their staff a lot, because it just takes away that task of having to wake up in the morning, go to work, enter traffic, come back, and all that. Customer service is supposed to be a hands-on job. Something that you do 24/7, something that people can reach you at all times, something that, they can relate, you can relate with people. Now, the experience people give you when the customer experience that you have from a client or from a business or from a customer or from a business, whatever it is, keeps you glued to that company. It makes you more like a stakeholder to that business.
Okay, so
and that's the kind of service you get first. Yes.
Is there a case of some people or a particular set of people doing customer service for maybe a tech company, and that one is doing customer service for a skincare company, and the same person is doing customer service for maybe a confectionery company or something? Is it not the same set of people? How can you be sure that they will give you expertise when it comes to feedback from that particular service that you're looking for?
So, Mike, the whole thing is about learning and understanding. If I were to represent, for instance, a telecommunication brand, I would study everything about that telecommunication brand. If I were to represent a skincare brand, for instance, I would study everything about the skincare brand. And just also know that most outsourcing customer service companies are like a company. So they have call agents assigned to different customers. So if they have like customers, a telecommunication company as a customer, a client that they represent, they have a skincare company like you use as an example that they represent. They give different agents, they give different call agents to those companies to handle. So this person zeroes in on the telecommunication company, and
Okay.
then you know that everything communication company, you are digesting it, you are handling it. And then this other person zeroes in on the skincare company. So it helps you just carve that niche and you're able to study more and know more about what that each of the businesses do, and then you handle them
All right, the question
professionally.
many people and myself want to know, how do I get such a job? Now, I know it's tech-based. What are the requirements? If I want to get such a job to be a customer service agent virtually, what are the requirements? Do I have to get a very expensive system? Can I just use my phone? What qualifications? What are the minimum qualifications? What is the criteria for me to get such a job?
So the first criteria is for you to have experience in customer service. And I know that you want to ask, how do I get that experience? Right? So it could be experience from communication. It could be experience that helps look at your human relationship, as it were, in terms of business, right? That is very important. And getting the job could be pretty easy, especially if you have a good CV. Ensure that your CV or resume is up to date, and then you have a good booking system. Now, for people who do outsourcing customer service, having high-speed internet is very important
When you say
because you need
when you say system, are you talking about a computer, a PC?
Yes,
Okay,
you
all right.
need a high-speed computer. Yes, you need a
High
high-speed
speed
computer. You know
computer. Okay.
exactly because you need a high-speed computer that can have that can access the softwares that you need to run your customer service job. Because if you use just a normal computer, it may not be able to serve you well, in
What
terms
on
of
my
that.
phone?
And
Can
then
I use my phone?
no, you can't. No, you can if you have to work professionally. So you also need perhaps your headsets, you
Okay.
understand, and a good earpiece and all of that. And then for companies who also invest in more like an omni chat customer service operations is also very important because some of them would have to deal with AI responding. And for some customer service companies, AI would be the initial port of call to respond to you, and then before they now pass you on to real humans, and such are like chatbots and all those. They
Yes.
would respond to you, and then before they pass you on to real humans.
Okay.
This actually is very helpful because it helps cut off overheads in terms of business capital and investment.
Now, are there websites where, like there was that time when there was the emergence of Fiverr and some particular websites that offer maybe remote jobs? Are there particular websites or particular spaces where one can see, these sort of vacancies, or where you can meet companies that need such services?
So interestingly, I don't mean to blow your mind, but LinkedIn is actually a thing. You can get a job as an outsourced customer service for international companies via LinkedIn. However, you must
Okay.
ensure that LinkedIn profile and all that, of course, represents the job that you're seeking for,
Wonderful, precious.
right?
Let's wrap up
But
with
the
this.
downside of that,
Okay, you
sorry,
mentioned something about LinkedIn. A lot of people
yes.
don't understand that service. I do, but it maybe not as much as people understand Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the rest. LinkedIn is something that when it comes to professionals and business, that's a that's your go-to place, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can work for international companies very well, represent them in customer service. There are lots of international companies that seek customer representatives in Africa and remote areas. Reason because they have customers in these areas and they need customers that can speak in the language that they need sales representatives or customer service agents that can speak in the language that their clients or customers, can understand.
Can
So it's
understand.
very related. Exactly. So, however, I have a problem with Nigeria. I don't want to say Nigeria is being profiled for most of these businesses because if you're in Kenya, you're in South Africa, you're in Egypt, you're more likely to have these job opportunities faster
Ah,
than if you're in Nigeria. That's a big
wow,
problem. I don't know why it's a
wow.
problem, but I think it's something we have to start working on because Nigeria is not as is not bad. And we have a lot of intelligent people who really know their job, and professionals in Nigeria. But I think, when it comes to most of these jobs, I think Nigeria is just a big profile, and it's very sad to say this on national television.
Precious.
Like
You probably know why, but we'll talk about this later, because we'll just look at something at optimizing your LinkedIn profile to get this kind of jobs and how one can overcome such a challenge. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You've opened another kind of quite a very interesting place people want to know about. I'm looking forward to having you on that next time. Thank you so much, Precious.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here. Right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you're able to pick one or two things there when it comes to remote work and finding remote work. Yes, there is that challenge with Nigeria, and probably that's what we'll talk about later, how to maybe in some ways surmount some of these challenges. We'll take a time out now. The first lap of the show is done. The second lap coming right up after this time out.